Let's take a look at some of the more advanced question types. I'll come back into my form here, and we've talked about the text items here. We've talked about the choose from a list, check boxes where I can select multiple answers, and then this is just paragraph text here. I'm going to come back down to add item, and this time I'm going to select a scale. Now this is where we can basically, it's like a Likert scale, and so I know how to count to 100. Okay, now so this is, I can put some help text in and say I can't count, I can count to more than 100. So I can do that, make that a required question. And so this just looks like a typical Likert scale response. Now I haven't shown you this yet, but if I click on this pencil over here, I can get back into the question, I can edit the text, I can change the scale, for example, I can change it all the way up to a 10-point Likert scale, change the responses and those things. So that's a pretty simple, quick, easy look at the scale question. So I'm going to click on done to select that one. And now we're going to go in and we're going to add another item. This one is the grid. And I really like the grid because you can do lots of things with this. So I might say here, what is your level of comfort with the following items? So question mark here. So now what you really need to understand is what each one of these represents. Now your rows are going to represent the questions, your columns are going to represent your comfort level. So row 1 might be Google Drive, and then Google Docs, and Google Sheets, and one more, so Google Forms. So these are the items that I want them to respond to, and here are some items that I am going to put in here for responses. I don't know anything about this, and I know a little, and I know a bit, and I am an expert. All right, so now when I click on require one response per row, I'm going to click on done, and here's what you see. So you notice that my rows show up as these are the items that I want to respond to, and they can come in and they can click on any one of these items based on their comfort level. So that is a grid. So I like the grid question if you're doing a long survey and you want people to respond or to respond to several items. This is a great way or a great question type to use. These next two questions are great if you're doing any kind of scheduling. So this one is called date. So I can put in here, pick a date that works for you to have a meeting. So come down here, I click on date, I can say include the year if I want. I can actually include the time right here. Notice I also have that option. So basically if I click here, I'm linking those two questions together. And this is what it's going to look like. I'm going to make this a required question. And when I'm done, this is what they're going to have. So they can pick a month, a day, and a year. And because I included time, they can include the time as well. If I were just going to click on or have them select a time, what time on the 25th works best for you? And so I can come in here and I can select a duration if I want to, click on required question and done, and now notice that it's going to give me in hours, minutes, and seconds. So those are really the question types that show up in Google Sheets or in Google Forms. We'll take a look at some of the other items that you have on this layout section here in our next video.